It would prove devastatingly effective. But first, it would be proven in the most dramatic way possible. June 26, 1943, a mission that would change how both sides viewed the P-47 Thunderbolt. Second Lieutenant Robert S. Johnson, 61st Fighter Squadron, 56th Fighter Group, was flying Tail End Charlie, the last aircraft in the formation, during a bomber escort mission over northern France. It was the worst position in any formation, the most vulnerable, the first to be hit when enemy fighters attacked from behind. At approximately 14:30 hours, 16 Focke-Wulf W-90s from Jagdgeschwader 26, led by Hauptmann Wilhelm Ferdinand Wutz-Galland, younger brother of the famous Adolf Galland, executed a perfect bounce. They dove from the sun with overwhelming speed and altitude advantage. Johnson never saw them coming. The first indication was tracers flashing past his canopy, followed immediately by the hammer blow impacts of 20mm cannon shells hitting his aircraft. In the first seconds of combat, Johnson's P-47 took catastrophic damage. Two 20mm cannon shells exploded across the aircraft's engine cowling. Another cannon shell shattered the canopy, showering Johnson with plexiglass fragments. Hydraulic fluid sprayed into the cockpit, coating everything. The engine began smoking heavily. Fire erupted behind the instrument panel. Control cables were partially severed. Johnson was hit by shrapnel in his nose and right leg. Blood mixed with hydraulic fluid in the cramped cockpit. His first instinct was to bail out. He reached for the canopy release. It didn't move. A 20mm shell had exploded in the canopy track, welding the mechanism shut. Johnson was trapped in a dying aircraft at 27,000 feet, wounded, with fire spreading. Any pilot in any other fighter would have been dead already. But Johnson was in a P-47. Despite the engine damage, despite the fire, despite the hydraulic failure, the massive Pratt & Whitney R2800 engine kept running. Rough, violent, but running. Johnson managed to level the wings and point the aircraft toward England. The P-47, by all accounts mortally wounded, continued flying. Through the oil-covered windscreen, Johnson could barely see. The controls responded sluggishly, but the Thunderbolt kept flying. Then it got worse. A single Focke-Wulf W-190, flown by an unknown German pilot from 2.JG-26, spotted the crippled P-47 limping toward the channel at less than 170 miles per hour. Historical research has never definitively identified this pilot, though combat reports suggest several possible names. What followed, however, is documented from Johnson's own account and corroborated by the physical evidence. The German pilot positioned himself behind and slightly below Johnson's aircraft. He opened fire with his 4 20mm MG-51 cannon and 2 30mm MG-31 machine guns. The range was point-blank less than 200 yards. Johnson, unable to maneuver, unable to evade, unable even to see clearly through the oil-smeared windscreen, could only sit there and take it. The German pilot fired his entire ammunition load of 20mm cannon shells into the P-47. Cannon shells exploded across the fuselage, wings, and tail. The wing structure took multiple direct hits. The fuselage was riddled with explosions. The tail surfaces were shredded. The P-47 absorbed every shell and kept flying.